You guys have never owned a small business before.
No.
Who wants to work for the man? Underpaid, underappreciated, unable to control your own destiny. I take people out of the rat race and make them their own boss in a week. My ultimate goal is for you guys to actually live the American dream. My name is Dennis Mulganon. I've been buying and selling small businesses for 25 years. From cupcake shops to locksmiths to laundromats. I've built companies with over $250 million in annual sales and created over 5,000 jobs. People ask me if I have an MBA. I tell them, yeah, a massive bank account. But I also find businesses for hopeful buyers. Last year alone, I helped over 600 people take control of their lives. There's nothing better than being responsible for your own business life. There are thousands of small businesses for sale across America, from 25,000 to 25 million. Buy one and you're in charge of your own destiny.
If this doesn't work,
If is not in my vocabulary. Tonight I'm helping two former fraternity brothers graduate from their daily grind.
The hours are so demanding, I don't have time for anything.
I'll find them 3 companies for sale, have them test drive each option,
I'll make your man happy. I just want the great drink, that's all.
then close the deal on the one they want.
It's a big risk.
But it's your passion.
It was a passion.
So I'm asking, are you ready to buy your own business? It's time to decide which business do you want to buy. This is Be Your Own Boss. Today I'm in Washington, D.C. to meet with best friends Paul Perry and Sarah McLean, who want to buy a business together. D.C. can be a tricky place for small business. The cost of living is high and so are the rents. But it's also a city made up of small, eclectic neighborhoods. And a business that offers up a quality service or product could do very well here. I'm gonna find 3 great businesses for Paul and Sarah. I'm ready to rock and roll. I hope they are.
My name is Paul Perry.
And I'm Sarah McLean.
Over a decade ago, we met throwing fraternity parties. Throughout the years, we thought it'd be good to team up and look for a business. Let's go, boy. Right now, I work for a federal law enforcement agency, and the hours are so demanding, I don't have time for anything. I don't have the social life anymore. That's gone. And on top of that, I'm expecting my first child soon, so I definitely need to make a lifestyle change if I want to be around.
I have a desk job for the federal government, steady paycheck, but it's mundane as hell. I have a fear of having some guy half my age come in and become my boss. I need to take control of my destiny.
We want to buy a business that gives us that flexible schedule and provides us time with our families.
Talk to me about the types of businesses you're looking for.
We originally started out with bars and restaurants.
Who has experience with bars and restaurants?
Well, I used to be a server and a bartender, but we also used to throw a lot of parties.
It's a little bit different than the day-to-day of running the back of the house of a restaurant and a bar. Paul and Sarah are going to combine their savings to buy a business. With a bank loan, I think I can really find them a good one. I really got to understand fiscally where you're at. You both want to leave? Or...
Oh, I'm gone.
You're gone. All right, well, I'm sorry.
I would love to believe I'm out, but we'll see. I'm willing to stay at my current job. Paul will probably have to start and grow it so I can join later.
I need to take home at least $8,000.
So, Sarah,
At this point, $7,200.
Paul and Sarah need to replace about $250,000 a year worth of income. A $350,000 business isn't going to do that. But luckily, Sar's going to keep his day job until the business grows enough to replace both their incomes. So I'm going to need to find a business that has great growth potential. Let's do this.
Let's go.
There are 3 things I look for when evaluating a business. Are the numbers solid? Is there growth potential? And what's the work-life balance going to be? First up, Suds Laundromat. I know it's not what you guys were expecting, but it's a really compelling reason why I'm in this business. I've been in the laundromat business for over 6 years. I have a chain called WaveMax based out of Florida. Laundromats produce about $5 billion in sales every year in the US and service about 100 million customers. Suds is in a great location. There's so many apartments around and they don't have laundry facilities in them. That creates a huge customer base. Everybody's got dirty laundry.
A lot of the machines, I gotta say, date back to the early 1990s. A lot of opportunity then to improve the equipment. There's a cavity behind this. All the power, the gas coolant. I mean, that costs a fortune just building all that infrastructure in place.
If Paul and Sarah buy Suds, the real asset here is actually all the infrastructure that's pre-existing, plumbing and electrical, because that's very expensive to build out and get permitted. While it's true Suds doesn't provide the cash flow that Paul and Sarah need to quit their jobs today, this is a long-term commitment. Since the asking price for suds is low, Paul and Sar can spend most of their money renovating the laundromat, which should allow them to grow the business.
This is how I would approach this. We would gut this, wholesale out the equipment.
These machines are 25 years old, and by replacing them with newer, energy-efficient machines, I can reduce utility costs by 40%.
We'll bring in a GC, a general contractor, and we'll build this right.
And at my stores, we added wash, dry, fold services. It increased revenue by $100,000.
How much you think that will cost?
Somewhere around $350,000.
While $350,000 sounds like a lot, it's not. If we renovate suds, it could bring in over $400,000 in gross revenue. This could really be their ticket to freedom. This checks all my boxes.
I absolutely love this idea.
We never thought about owning a laundromat, but with his experience, it might be something to consider. We couldn't leave our jobs, but if it's making us money, I might be happy just sitting in my job for a little longer and saving up for the next business.
Let's move on. I think I found a really good business that matches your backgrounds.
With Paul's experience in law enforcement and Sar's background in sales and government contracts, American Security and Control is a solid fit. American Security provides residential and commercial security services in the DC area. Property crime's a real problem in DC. Last year alone, there were 30,000 reports filed with local police. So security companies are essential here and can be highly profitable. Owner Mike Gillies has been recently downsizing his business in preparation for his retirement, and that's why he wants to sell.
We do construction, senior citizen living, we do an apartment community. The State Department at one time was begging for small businesses to do security guards. I have a lot of recurring customers that I've had relationships with for years. I have a lot of long-term contracts.
Mike's business is a service industry business, so there's really no tangible assets. But Paul and Sar would be getting Mike's client list, existing contracts, and most importantly, the goodwill that Mike has established for the company.
Goodwill is something where you build communally a business up that is respected.
Meeting people, talking to people, making phone calls, up my alley. Government contracts, up my alley. So it seems perfect synergy, to be honest with you.
The ask on the business is $449,000, and he does have an offer, so we're going to be looking to make a decision soon.
Hopefully so.
I think Mike priced the business a bit high, but it's very difficult to quantify goodwill in a valuation process. You can't fake it and you can't buy it. Before Mike started downsizing, his business was grossing almost double what it is now. Paul and Sar could do the same thing if they increase the current level of employees, and if they add targeted marketing, they could even grow the business more. So American Security and Control meets my criteria.
Just let me know, what do you guys think?
I guess the asking price, I wasn't feeling that too much. But,
Little sticker shock, maybe?
Yeah, I liked it though, I did.
The final option is a former restaurant in the trendy Adams Morgan neighborhood. The previous owners moved their thriving Ethiopian restaurant to a larger location.
I know you guys wanted a restaurant bar. I'm going to show you potentially the dream. Up to you.
Wow, it's nice.
If you're gonna do a bar restaurant, this is the place to do it. Adams Morgan has a hopping nightlife, tons of foot traffic, and many great restaurants and bars.
You guys see a full bar. We see 40 seats. We see 20 seats, VIP up there. So I'm gonna show you guys the kitchen. We've got all stainless, which is great. That hood right there, 50 grand. You have the bones here to do whatever you want. And that's the flexibility that I was trying to create for you guys.
So we're asking $150,000 for the business as it sits.
How much you think it would cost to get this place up and running?
After that purchase price, you could probably spend between $100,000 and $200,000 and have a beautiful restaurant.
If you went to build a bar from scratch today, it's at least $400,000 or $500,000. This is cosmetic changes. You could open tomorrow.
The asking price includes a below-market lease for 10 years, a fully built-out kitchen and bar, as well as an existing restaurant bar license. However, restaurants have the highest failure rate of any business in America. It takes a lot of hard work to run a successful restaurant, and I don't think Paul and Sar know what they're getting into.
You're gonna open at 5, and you're gonna be open till 2 on the weekdays and 3 on the weekends.
This is something that you want to do. You want to embrace the lifestyle. You are going to be here a lot.
Restaurants are great for the right people. Based on the size and location of this restaurant, I believe it can gross over $1 million a year. I could check the boxes for some people, but not for these guys. They have babies on the way, they're getting married, they need a dose of reality.
Coming up.
Can I get a Manhattan, please?
Hey, don't be scared. You're making the drink. The drink's not making you.
That's not a Manhattan.
best friends, Paul Perry and Sarah McLean, are looking to buy a business together. Paul plans to leave his job immediately after buying a business, while Sarah intends to keep his day job until they can grow the business enough to replace both their incomes. I think I found a really good business. I've shown them 3 companies they can buy, but after careful consideration, Paul and Sarah determined they didn't want to buy Sud's Laundromat. The initial startup costs and manpower it would take to get it up and running were more than they wanted to take on. But Paul and Sarah are interested in buying the bar and restaurant in the trendy Adams Morgan neighborhood. Hey Seth, thanks for arranging this visit, man. I really appreciate it. But first they gotta get some hands-on experience. I'm gonna make sure they understand what the pitfalls are and the challenges of this business.
Dennis called me and he said that you guys were thinking about the restaurant. So I called my friend who owns this great place and they agreed to let you guys get behind the bar and make real drinks.
The restaurant and bar space that I showed Paul and Sarah has solid bones. And while it's a big risk, it has the potential to do really well in that thriving neighborhood. But Paul and Sarah know nothing about the restaurant business. I need you guys to use this opportunity to really see if this is what you want to do.
Right.
Paul and Sarah say it's been their dream since college to own a restaurant, but it's a difficult business. I've been in it. I'm not going to stop them from achieving their dream, but let's see how they feel when the pressure's on.
We take simple syrup, about a ½ ounce of that. 1, 2. Bitters, orange bitters. Strain it over a nice large cube. Boom.
Yeah, I'm used to a cranberry vodka, you know.
I haven't worked at a bar since college. This is definitely a lot harder than what I remember.
See how it's groove spoon? There you go.
It's getting crazy as hell in there, and I don't know what drinks what.
Hey, excuse me. That's not a Manhattan.
No worries, I'll make you another. I'll make you a Manhattan.
I just want the correct drink, that's all.
There you go. Sorry about that.
That's really good.
Hope that made up for it.
Practice, baby. Practice.
Right.
Practice makes perfect.
This was really hard, but it was fun. I could definitely see myself in a restaurant, but doing the management part. You know, I don't want to be behind the bar. I'll leave that to somebody else.
I threw you in the deep end because I want to see if you could sink or swim, right? It's not easy running this, man. Just think about it, you know? This is a serious investment for them, but they can't base it solely on the memories of frat parties. You're dealing with a staff that you got to keep happy. You're dealing with food spoilage. You're dealing with health department inspections. It's a really tough business to run.
Hey guys.
Hey, Mike. Good to see you again. American Security is a great fit for Paul and Sarah because Paul works in law enforcement and Sarah for the Department of Defense. The asking price is about $100,000 above Paul and Sarah's comfort level, but it has a great track record of making a profit and the potential to grow it higher. We're getting down to it.
Okay.
Still very interested. Big key for them is how are they going to build the business from where it's at today and where it's been for the last few years. Mike's company relies on contract work. And in order to grow the business, these guys are going to have to bid for new contracts. So knowing how to bid successfully is critical.
Potential clients, when they say, what's your hourly rate? Your first answer should be, it depends. There's lots of factors.
Mike's taking these guys to an apartment complex that he's preparing a bid for, so we can show them how to properly assess it.
I want to concentrate on these alleys and stuff. You can see the park over there. That's a good place for somebody to hang out at night. So that's be one area there. There's doors down there. You see,
Right.
You want to make sure they're locked.
I honestly believe the learning of this business is not going to be as steep as the other businesses we looked at.
But making bids and telling people you need to do this, still new. What would you bid? What would the price be for this?
Well, when we sign a NDA, whatever, I'll give you my rates. I like you guys. I don't like you that much. I will say apartment complexes are notoriously, they want the lower bid. I would probably go with one guard because I'm almost positive they will not pay for 2 guards.
After the day, going through the process with Mike, I know I can step right in and grow this business.
This puts us in a tough predicament. Do we go with the business that we know, or do we go with the business that we've been dreaming about?
This is a big decision for us. We have to get it right.
Coming up, it's time to decide which business do you want to buy. We're down to 2 businesses. One that represents your college glory days, a bar restaurant. And the other one taps into your current life and your skill sets. American Security and Control. Let's get down to brass tacks on the bar restaurant, what it would cost. Acquisition cost is $150,000, but it's probably going to take another $200,000 to renovate it. So Paul and Sar might have to spend a total of 350 grand. If we get it open and we rock it, maybe we got a big opportunity there. This restaurant occupies a prime spot in a thriving neighborhood. However, 60% of all restaurants fail in the first year, and these guys have no experience in this world. So there's a lot to be cautious about here. But if these guys can figure it out and they hit my financial projections, there's a lot of money to be made.
Seems like just a big risk. A year to build out or to possibly make money.
We're taking more risk with the bar.
But it's your passion.
It was a dream. It was a passion.
It was, yeah.
So, American Security and Control. From a financial perspective, I'm very, very comfortable with this business for you guys. However, he already has 2 competing offers. American Security and Control comes with a higher price than the restaurant, but it earns a steady profit which will only grow if they can build on Mike's existing contracts and expand throughout the metro area.
Just working security, the biggest thing is when somebody doesn't show up, and that looks bad on the business.
It can break a contract.
Right, definitely break a contract. That's a big concern for me.
Let's face it, no small business is without risk, and it's really easy to talk yourself out of buying one. Unfortunately, there's competing offers on the table, and if Paul and Sar want to get in the game, they can't wait any longer. Okay, guys, it's time to decide. Which business do you want to buy?
American Security and Control.
That's awesome. Great decision, guys.
Beginning of the journey, it started out with bar and restaurant. That's what we wanted to do.
But the fantasy world has transitioned more to a reality world.
It's just a relief to just stick with what we know.
Great decision. I'm going to call Mike, give him the good news. But I'm going to get him over here as I like to negotiate face to face. Mike has those 2 competing offers. I want to find out what they are first, so I'm not bidding against myself. Mike.
Hey, guy.
Good to see you.
How you doing, partner?
I'm so happy that they chose your business.
Well, I am too. Quite honestly, these 2 have the most potential, I think, of any ones I've talked to.
You've told me that you have some offers. I'd like to know what the offers are.
Fair enough. The ones right now on the table are $330, I think, because they look at me and think I'm dying any day now. And
I know differently, so.
There's also one that's $350. They actually want more financing than I'm probably willing to give, but I haven't gone back with a counter offer on that yet.
Let me go talk to Paul and Sar. All right, I'll see you in a few.
See what we have.
All right, thanks, Mike.
Sure, guy.
So he has a cash offer of $330,000. He has a $350,000 offer with financing. I'd like to cut it right down the middle and go back to him with a $340.
Definitely, yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, I'll be right back. What we want to do is offer $340.
Okay. It's a tad lower than I thought. We're looking at a 30-year-old company. This company's almost older than they are.
This business is ready to make a profit on day 1. It has no debt, and the security contracts Mike has collected over the years has tons of cash flow. I believe we're making a fair offer based on what the revenue is today. But will Mike agree with me? What I don't want to do is disrespect also, right?
But I gotta be honest, I just don't know if that's a good deal or not. I really don't know if I want to go down this path. I'm not gonna mess around here.
I'm right there with you, man. Best friends Paul Perry and Sar McLean have just made an offer to Mike Gillies to buy American Security and Control. But we're coming in way below the asking price, and Mike's having a hard time letting go.
I'm really struggling with not saying I'll keep a piece of the company just because with these 2 guys, I think your company's gonna make a lot of money. What I'm wondering is if I just sell them 85% or 80% of the company, with the understanding then they have to buy me out in 2 years based on the value at that time.
Now I see what Mike's getting at. Because we're coming in well below asking, he wants to hold on to a piece of the company, betting that Sar and Paul can grow the business. Pretty smart strategy. What if we did 5%? You're a stakeholder, you got a reason to stay.
So they're gonna pay me up front 95% of whatever price we finally agree on. I'll tell you what, $350.
I don't make the decision, but
understand you.
I'm gonna go find out. I like this deal for Paul and Sar.
Mike only wants $10,000 more than the initial offer, and his expertise and contacts are gonna help the guys grow the business. That should more than offset the cost to buy Mike out in 2 years.
Price is good. And he had an interesting response, $350.
There's nothing, man.
With one caveat. He'll retain 5% ownership, and in 2 years, we'll buy him out. It's a really great deal for us. If it's worth $2 million, we pay him $100K and we smile all the way to the bank.
With their backgrounds, I believe Paul and Sar could get a lot more contracts and expand the business. This is a no-brainer.
What do you guys think?
Definitely like that support to be around, so I'm all for it.
All right.
Sign me up, man. Thanks, man.
Let's go down and see Mike.
All right.
I'm just really excited about getting this business and growing it.
I can't wait for the day that I can leave my job. I'm so excited.
Hey, Mike, your new partners just showed up.
Mike.
Welcome to the team.
Paul and Sar, you guys don't know this, but your wife and your fiancé is here too.
Oh, neat. That's neat.
Paul and Sar were able to hone in on what's most important for them in a business.
Hey, dude.
And a large part of that was to spend more time with their families.
I'm even more impressed. You got good-looking women on top of everything else.
This is a really great day for them.
You're gonna do well together.
I feel excited. I don't know about you, man. This is.
Oh, it's a relief.
There you go. There you go.
Can't wait to finally leave my job. It's like it finally happened, so can't wait.